Sunday at my home church in Sylvan Lake at Frontline there, we had a prophet in Sammy Robinson had come in to share on Sunday morning. And halfway through Sammy's message, and Sammy's a revivalist, but anyway, halfway through his message, there's a little bit of commotion kind of going on in the congregation, and I think it was on maybe the second or third row there, from the front, and someone came up, and we've actually got a physician in our church, Dr. Rudy, and God bless Dr. Rudy. He's run our healing and deliverance teams for years. Someone came and tapped him on the shoulder, said, "Dr. Rudy, we need to talk to you here." And anyway, they grabbed him, and here there was a woman who she stopped breathing, and she passed away. She'd passed away. So we had two other nurses in the congregation. They're registered nurses, and so they came and they were checking and helping, and they called 911 to get an ambulance coming. And she had no pulse, that she wasn't breathing, her spirit was gone, like she was dead. Her kids had brought her to church that morning, and anyway, there we were. And so the body just began to pray and respond. And anyway, she was gone for 4 to 5 minutes.
That's a long time.
And anyway, as we prayed and kind of just pressing in the Spirit of God, the Spirit of God came on her, and life came back, and she was raised from the dead.
Amazing.
And there's no one that can take the glory in it. Like spiritual pride, there's no one that can take the glory in it, because he came in, and as a body, he just came in and he showed off a little bit. And so it was absolutely incredible. And so it certainly wasn't a coincidence. We know, if we're Christians, these signs will follow them that believe. And so we're seeing God release his glory on this earth.
That's so amazing, Barry. Man, we get even in the U.S. or anyone's countries, you can become so involved in your own country that you don't realize the amazing things God's doing in other countries, right next door to you or down the street from you, frankly. But that's just phenomenal, man. How long ago did this dead raising happen? When was that?
Just this last Sunday.
Just this last Sunday.
This last Sunday morning. Yeah. And
did she, by the way, tell any stories about what her experiences were during that time, or was she just? Some people are unaware when they come back.
I haven't heard. There is gonna be a testimony. They're gonna be doing a public, I believe a public testimony. I don't know if that'll happen this weekend.
Yeah. Well, let us know if there's anything interesting with that. That would be a fascinating thing to learn any more details. Well, listen, let's jump into this. You've got some things that I realize that when you and sometimes Amanda have written words, I've been following along, and I realize when I'm following along, people think I'm not paying attention. So I'm not going to look at the notes this time, so I can really enjoy it this way, and people will know that I'm actually quite paying attention. I do want to say this, Barry, but I hope this is okay. As for those of you that are new to things in the Spirit, that often when Barry is reading his prophetic word or sharing, the Spirit will bear witness with his spirit that what he's saying is true. And so all of a sudden he'll get what I call gut crunches, or there's been different, but the Spirit will hit him, and all of a sudden he'll look like, or you'll cry out, or you'll wince. And some people say, "Is he okay? Is he in pain?" So if this happens, folks, Barry's not in pain. It's what happens to me even now. Once in a while, it'll happen in my gut, and it'll kind of like almost like a crunch, like you do an exercise crunch. So how would you describe what you're feeling when you have those reactions?
For me, it's just like this electricity comes on me at time. I mean, sometimes I just like lately, I'll be prophesying and it's like this electricity comes and it's like you grab on to 1,000,000 volts and
Wow.
you can't let on, like, it's like you can't let go. And it just, kind of, just the
Well,
spirit of God.
I mean, does it feel like electricity to you? Do you
Yes, yes,
sometimes have a little bit
yes.
of pain with it?
Oh yeah, it feels like full on electricity, and sometimes even, I mean, if I give someone a hug, I mean, the spirit of God will come and just that electricity will just come and touch them, and things start happening,
Wow. Wow.
and so yeah, there is that so I do not have Tourette's. I'm okay. You know,
Yeah, yeah, that would be the one that they'll say, "Well, doesn't he need some medication?" This is like once in a while, someone will say, "No, Barry's fine. He's just the spirit's bearing witness with him," And you'll say it will tend to be at crucial moments, right? When you say something that's especially the spirit wants to emphasize.
yeah, often, yes,
So awesome.
yes, that's
Well,
happened. For this. So
that's
yeah,
awesome. And by the way, for anyone who may be new, Barry is one of many, 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 many people I know who, when there's a scripture that says the Spirit bearing witness with our spirits that da 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 da. So sometimes when Barry will be in the middle of a sentence and you'll get what we used to call a gut crunch or something. That's the Spirit who's living in him, and just like he lives in you and he lives in me. But some people will react very physically to that when the spirit says yes, that then the person goes whoa. And I've seen men and women do this for the couple of decades. A few people that were new were not around in 1994 when the Father's blessing, what did we call it? The Toronto blessing came out of Canada. John and Carol are not and all that. And a lot of people that would go there would come out of there and they'd be in the middle of a sentence and then the spirit would bear witness right at the middle of the sentence. So don't be too shocked, anyone. This is actually not that unusual at all, except that there were seasons when it was more prevalent. But it's just the spirit bearing witness with them. That's all that means. So.